Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, okay. Also, I get to repeat all that again. Sorry about that. Okay, so I was on mute accidentally. Gee, thank you so much for letting me know. Hi and welcome. It's Grace, right? So, Grace, I know that you participated last week by buying a reading, and I need to get the name of everybody. And you did send me your name via email, and I thank you so much. So I do have you, and so therefore. Tonight, 100% of the proceeds go to Friends of Creacon. And if you've been following along, you'll know that pretty much every month we had been choosing a new charity to send 30% of proceeds to. And we've helped quite a few, actually. We helped some women in the Congo. We've helped the Irish Wheelchair Association. We've helped the Wild Bird Fund, although I'm yet to send them their donation, but we've helped them quite significantly. We helped, gosh, now my memory's going, but we've helped about five or six charities, and I'm really, please call me G. Oh, forgive me. So sorry. Forgive me. I didn't know that. Okay. No worries, G. And so we've helped quite a few charities, and tonight and moving forward, April and May, we will be helping Friends of Creacon. Now, Friends of Creacon is a program run by Creacon Wellness Retreat in Ireland. They're a retreat centre in the county Wexford, and they are a business, so it's not a charity. However, in exchange for the money that you send via Friends of Creacon, you are connecting into the energy of this really beautiful place. And when you purchase a reading tonight, I'll be sending 100% of that $10 for your reading to Friends of Creacon, and I'll be taking down everyone's names and sending that along to Creacon, and the exchange will be that you receive the energy or that connection to Creacon Wellness Retreat. And here we go. I'm going to give you Creacon Wellness Retreat. Let me see if I have it right. There we go. Everyone's taking their iPads. All right. Here we go. So this is the retreat center if you want to have a look at it. And the Friends of Creacon program the link is in the description. So you'll see what it means for those of us who contribute to Friends of Creacon on a regular basis and the exchange that one receives. It's an energetic exchange. And if you quietly if you make a moment or take a moment to get quiet and connect into the energy of this wonderful place, you will feel it too. So here we are, the Rider-Waite-Smith. Who's upside down? The hangman is always upside down. He always gets me. Whenever I see him, I think my deck's upside down. And behind me today, I have this beautiful piece of art, which is Native American. It is from America. I don't know exactly where it's come from, but I bought it from a store called Sticks, Stones and Bones in Greenwich Village. And it is the Thunderbird energy. And what I love about it is the heart center radiating out all these lightning bolts. And there's something called the Prima Agni healing system. It's funny, I'm talking a lot about Creacon and Prima Agni. So the Prima Agni healing system has inside of it a lightning bolt. And this lightning bolt brings down the energy from source, from above, into our heart space and opens our heart. And I love it. That's what I do. And that's why I've mentioned it, the Prima Agni healing system. And this reminds me of that. Right. So I love seeing this kind of electricity because it is our heart center, and our heart center, our true heart, our physical heart beats with electricity. Right. The science of the heart beating is actually electrical impulses running through the heart into the muscle, through the nerves and making the heart contract. And I love the same thing happens energetically. Right. When we bring the energy down from source, and it expands the heart, and we are more loving. And that's what I hope to do with the tarot. I hope to bring more loving centeredness into my own life by asking questions that I have. It's very powerful energy. Thank you. Yes. Thunderbird is powerful energy. And Thunderbird is, I think at one point there used to be, just very big birds that, there's the, of course, there's the story of the Thunderbird, right? Crooked? I don't quite get it. I don't know if it's crooked. There we go. There we go. That's a little straighter. I don't know. Do you know I don't know. Maybe I can look it up. There's just a few of us here. So this is the Thunderbird energy. So apparently there's something called Thunderbird energy bars. I'm going to look at the totem, Native American totem energy. Here we go, Thunderbird animal totem. Let's learn a little bit about what's visiting us here today. What does the Thunderbird? It's the symbol of creation. Wow. So animal symbolism. So the Thunderbird or the thunderstorm bird was a symbol of creation. Oh, that's fantastic. It uses the electromagnetic from the atmosphere to direct the storm. So this animal, the Thunderbird, understands the forces of nature. And to understand the meaning of the thunderstorm animal totem, you must realize what lightning and winds really mean. I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it? Because you have the lightning strike, which happens in a storm, and it always finds its ground, doesn't it? This is the one thing that fascinates me at the moment, is grounding and earthing, so that the energy has to ground. It finds somewhere to move through to hit the ground. So if it doesn't actually hit the ground, it'll go through a tree, or it'll go through a human, or it'll go through. And that's why, this electricity and understanding our electrical nature is really important, because we have been walking barefoot on the earth for hundreds and thousands of years until rubber was invented in the 1950s. And then we stopped connecting to the earth in that way, and we stopped grounding ourselves. So we stopped all that electricity in our system, just started floating around the system and creating inflammation. And this is one theory that people believe, that we have so many inflammatory and allergic and kind of, the body kind of turning in on itself, because there's nowhere for all that positive energy to discharge, because we're not standing on the earth barefoot anymore. Which is fascinating, right? This kind of reminds me, this beautiful Thunderbird. Wonderful. So does anybody have a question? Anyone have a question for the tarot? I can certainly start talking about the swords, and I might just do that. Gee, I hope you're here. There's a few other people. It's so beautiful outside. The weather has just brightened up. Unfortunately, I think we also have a bit of a spike in COVID cases in New York City, but it's not stopping people, which is really wonderful. Everybody's probably getting vaccinated. They're getting their masks on. They're going outside with their kids. It's just really wonderful. Beautiful energy outside. Everyone's relaxed and enjoying themselves and just so happy to be out. I'm looking for my Learn to Read the Tarot PowerPoint, and I'm going to walk everyone through the swords. There we go. So what we have is the swords from 1 to 10. I kind of wish now that I had the capacity to share a screen, but I don't want to do that with all of you. Here we go. So we did the wands last week, and I mentioned briefly that the numerology is exactly the same. So if you talk about the number 1 wand, then it's almost identical to the number 1 sword, except that swords mean something else. They're a different element. They're the air element, right? And the air element is all about the mind, intellect. And so the history of swords is very interesting, right? We have been using swords. Swords represent chivalry, the upper class, wealth, and power, and also mental function. So it's all the intellect, intuition, although even more than that, it's definitely the mind and thinking. And so remember I mentioned that the wands and the swords have a very masculine energy. And if you look at the cards in your deck, and particularly in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, they're very challenging cards. So a lot of the swords cards have images of people in quite difficult situations, right? So because our mind creates our reality, right? This is what the Buddha said. And there's a whole religion, millions of people around the world follow this, the words of the Buddha. So here you have two swords. Let's pull them all out. So if anyone has a question, anybody want to do a reading, I'm very happy to do so. Friends of Creacon is a wonderful program. If you plug into Creacon, you're just going to feel good. And why not? Why not feel good? You're worth it. I plug into Creacon and I'm worth it. I'm worth it. You're worth it. Here we go. We're all worth it. There's enough room at the top for everybody, right? Because the truth is the mountain that we climb is an inverted pyramid. Nobody tells you that. You get to the mountain, you think you're going to be in the top of everybody, going to be the best. You're the only one. But when you get there, you become, here we go. You become, oh, I am missing the ace of swords. Let's find the ace of swords. Here we go. Let's find the ace of swords. Ace. All the aces are the same. A beautiful hand coming out of a cloud in the sky. Except this time it's holding a sword. Presenting this sword to you. And the sword is... the sword has... Oh, here it is. The sword has a crown on it. Right? The sword has this golden crown with jewels in it and two wreaths that have yet to be made. So this is like, we know you're going to be successful, that this idea, this thought that has come, this opportunity, it has the potential for success. And it's a great idea because the crown is clearly the crown chakra, the top of the head, connecting. It's God. It's divinely inspired. It's a divinely inspired thought. You have the yods, which are there in every ace card. And so we know that when the Ace of Swords arrives, it's a yes, it's a validation, it's a move forward, it's a positive card. It's a card you want to see if you're asking a yes and no question. Always. You want to see it upright. If you do, upright. Is that for all of us, the Ace of Swords? So I didn't pick a card for the group, but I can, G. So let's do that. So I was just moving through the Ace of Swords because I was going to talk about them tonight. So there's the Ace. Here's the 2. Remember, 2 is a decision. Right here, you've got 2 swords. So where you have one sword, you only have one idea or one sort of thought, one plan, one sort of opportunity. And here you have 2. So suddenly you're making a decision. Suddenly you're not so sure, right? And what you have to do when you get this card is you have to go in, because it's a very quiet card. It's set in the same place, and I've spoken about this before, but because we can do this, I'm going to pull out the High Priestess, and you'll see that these 2 ladies are sitting in exactly the same place. I'll choose a card for tonight, G. Why not? Here we go. So can you see this area behind the High Priestess? There's obviously a body of water, big body of water, that's very somewhat still. I'm going to hide so that there it is. And here is the other card. And they're both on a stage, right? There's a stage here. And she's on a cement block. We don't know, although the High Priestess is also on a cement block, right? Now, what we do know about the 2 of Swords is that there are rocks in the water. And whenever you see rocks in the water, it makes you think of obstacles. And so you may be attracted to the obstacles when this card drops down for you in a reading. And the moon does appear to be eclipsed. I mean, it could just be a growing or a waxing or a waning moon, but it also does look eclipsed. It looks like the sun is coming over it. So what you've got is a dark time because you're in two minds. And more often than not, because her eyes are also blindfolded, she can't see which decision to take. And her hands are crossed over her heart. So she's not tapping into her heart to access this information. Whereas if she uncrossed her hands and tapped into her heart, she may very well come up with an inspired thought. She might remember, oh, that's right, I was going for this. I'll go for this. Which one should I do? Should I do this or should I do this? I don't know what to do. And this card really does come up when people are undecided or they're in two minds about something, or, they need to go in. This card asks and invites you to go in because it's connected to the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is all about the inner and the intuition, right? Anybody got a question? Hello? Let me know if you're here. Let me know if you want to ask a question of the tarot. 9. I also don't have the 10 of Swords. That's interesting. And the 6 of Swords is missing. Oh, no, there we go. There's the 10 of Swords. I just have the 6 of Swords missing. I do love the 6 of Swords. We often get the 6 of Swords. Here is the 3 of Swords, another card that's difficult. So I was talking about how these cards are very yang energy, very tough, very challenging energy. So this is the first one. When you see this, it's really quite shocking, quite a jarring image. Oh, it's the storm. Here we go. The storm, the thunderstorm is happening and we're heartbroken. So whatever ideas. So this is, this card comes up when people are experiencing thoughts that are, feel bad. And this can also come up in grief. This card can also come up when there's, a third person in a relationship. So if you get this card with the Lovers card, because there's 3 people or 3 figures in the Lovers, or the 3 of Cups, it can indicate that there's like a third person. It might be an affair or, a hidden third person in a relationship. So, I haven't picked a card for all of us yet, but I'm just going through all of the swords because we have the time and no one's asking a question just as yet. Just reviewing the swords, 1 to 10. All right. What comes next? The 4. I love the 4. The 4 is one of my favorites. Now, the 4 traditionally indicates this is a person lying on a coffin. So it can indicate sickness. And combined with the Death card, that's probably one time when you would think, oh, death actually could potentially mean this person is facing death, but they have an illness in which they might be facing death. So, for example, someone who is undergoing treatment for cancer, where, you want to treat this cancer, or if left unattended, potentially you could die. So this is, it can be a very serious card. But most often than not, I read this card very much about going into a quiet space, quietening the mind, right? Because we've just been in turmoil, right? The mind has been creating heartache. And so if you quieten the mind and you bring yourself into a place of a balance, so you have a look at these 3 swords, they're absolutely in line. You have one sword lying down. This is the grounding sword. You have this person who's coming out of their mind, out of the ego, resting themselves to a point where they're balancing their third eye with their heart or throat. It's at the point, kind of pointed at the thymus, between the throat and the heart, and the solar plexus, right? So this person has their hands right over their heart or their solar plexus. And so there's a sense here that there's a rebalancing happening. It's like I'm not going to allow my thoughts to create any more drama in my head or in my heart. And you have in the top left-hand corner of this card the beauty of this wonderful scene. And I believe it's Mother Mary, the Divine Mother, who is, giving and looking after someone who is honoring her or begging for help, or we don't know what really this figure on their knees is doing, but there is a sense that there is help available. and it's the most colorful picture in the whole card. So it brings through hope and inspires hope. So if this is a church, right, then and this person's on the inside of the church in the coffin. Actually, I was traveling in Ireland, and there was a very old church. I think it may be a 16 church that was maybe even in the 1100s or 1200s, and they actually had the coffins inside the church because there was a belief that the souls would be, the closer they were to the sort of the altar and being inside the church, that the more potential for salvation was there. And so they're seeing this coffin inside this building, which you assume is a church because it does look like a Christian scene, means that we're coming in for salvation. We're coming in to retire from our thinking, to save ourselves from our thoughts. And if our thoughts create our reality, then our thoughts create our illness, right? And so the power of our mind is underestimated. And, the teachers like the Buddhist teachings, of course, but the Power of Now with Eckhart Tolle, the practice of meditation. This card could indicate either sickness or meditation. Definitely a very strong card for meditation. The hands are in the prayer on the Namaste position. Beautiful card. 5, here we go. What do we remember about 5s? Challenge. So what's happening in this card? Thoughts are challenging thoughts, arguments. There's 3 figures. One appears to be quite smug and happy with themselves, and the other 2 figures are walking away. One's definitely walking away, and the one in the back is got their head in their hands, potentially crying. We don't know, but that's what it looks like, someone who's feeling pretty bad. And there appears to be wind blowing. You've got the clouds blowing, and you've got wind on the water, so it's not very still or calm water. And there are swords lying on the ground. So there's been some exchange, and in this exchange, almost always, if you get this card, someone, either for yourself, you'll know that this has happened, or someone, if you get this card in a reading for someone else, you will know, they will say, yes, I've either been arguing in my head or I had an argument with someone else. Tough card. Oh, so the 6 is missing. So we need to go searching for the 6. Let's see if we got the 6. But the 6, the 6 is a couple with a sort of a mother-child sort of couple sitting on a boat that's being rowed from one side. Well, it's being rowed on water, and you've got choppy water just behind it and very calm water ahead. So because we've been through this with our mind, then the number 6 comes in to say, well, you're going to experience a calm. And if you remember what we got with the 6 of Wands last week, the 6s are always a sense of success, of, oh, okay, I've come to a better place. I'm actually coming out of these 3. So you have a look at the 3, which looks challenging, the 4, which could be also challenging, the 5 is definitely challenging, and then you move into the 6, and the 6 says, we're taking a breather. Let's have a look. So we've got the 2 6s together. There we go. We've got the 6 of Swords and the 6 of Wands. So this is the 6 of Wands from last week, and you'll remember we talked about success. And here is the 6 of Swords. That was the 6 of Wands. This is the 6 of Swords. As I mentioned, the 2 figures in the boat, and they're being carried. There's a man or a figure that's standing up on the boat, and he's pushing this boat. It could be a lake. Why would he be using a stick like that to push? We don't know how deep the waters are. We don't really know much about the body of water. We're not seeing much, but we know that here it's choppy and over here it's calm. And there's trees, and so we can see the other side. So we know that our mind and our thinking is better under control. All of these swords are lined up nicely, and they're kind of gathered together. There's not the energy of the 5, right, with all these swords all over the place and some of them strewn on the bottom. We're feeling better. We're moving better. Lauren, hello. Oh, thank you. I've got my sparkle on tonight. Thanks for joining, Lauren. Are you at work? These are just beautiful cards. I've got some other cards I was going to talk. So Lauren is making some wonderful oracle cards, nature cards. She's a great photographer and she takes photos of amazing photos. Lauren, give us your Instagram handle so people can know how to find you and see your images. Now, from the 6, we go to the 7. So you might remember last week that I spoke about how all the evens are, a little more tolerable than the odds. So the 5 is an odd number, the 3 is an odd number, and if you look at the 3, the 5, and the 7, these are pretty challenging cards. They're challenging cards. I mean, the swords are challenging when you think about it. Our thoughts, create a lot. Our thoughts can create our suffering. They can create our joy, right? That's the other side of it. So this card is a card showing a person stealing swords or moving away from what looks like a circus or a party or a gathering, holding these swords fairly dangerously by their tips. We don't know if this person has done this before. We have to assume that they haven't, because who would hold swords by their sharp edges? So this person may or may not know what they're doing, but we know that they can't be trusted because they have a sneaky look, right? They're kind of walking in a sneaky way. They're tiptoeing away from somewhere. They're stealing these ideas. So this is what this card means, basically. It's very, very straightforward. It means, that there's some kind of deceit. The truth is not being spoken. So it's either yourself or someone around you, right? And the good news is that there is a stage, a separation. And in this separation, you have, there's more information coming. We don't quite understand what's going on, but we might be able to find more information. We might be able to find out why this person is acting this way, or what it is that they're holding on to. And we kind of know that if you take this action, the consequences are bad for yourself, not for anybody else, right? Because that's the energy of this. Your hands are going to get cut. If they're not cut now, they'll be cut later. And there are 2 swords standing firmly in the ground, which in some ways indicate that the truth will be discovered, right? That's what these cards mean. And also in the background, I think I've talked about this once before, you can see there's a group of people around a campfire and they're creating smoke. And so there are smoke signals. So what this means is if there is something that's around you that's deceitful, you will know about it. Either other people will tell you or it will become known to you, because the truth is here to be exposed, right? Wonderful cards. Great cards. Then the number 8 comes along and, what's happening in the 8s? In the 8s are an accumulation. The 8s are all about karma. What have you gathered? What seeds have you sown? What are you growing? So here we're growing swords. We're growing thoughts. And these 8s and these thoughts are clearly coming up upon and surrounding this person who is out away from the castle, has somehow been taken herself or himself away from the castle and is now so far away that they're trapped in some ways. They're trapped by their own thoughts. This is the classic trapped by one's own thoughts. What are you worrying about? What are you thinking about? How are these thoughts starting to gang up on you? This card indicates that you need to get in control of your thoughts. Either that or you need to just completely wipe them out altogether. I'm not thinking about you. She's not thinking about them. She's not looking at them. She's not touching them. She doesn't want to know about them. Her feet, right? One is on the land and one is on the water. So she's trying to balance herself out. And you might remember the star card. In the star card and in temperance, we had the same figures. So it would indicate that some time is required. Oh, that's so nice. That the no, I assume, is for work. That's great. and you added a little extra if someone would like a reading. That's so nice. So this is like so we have my good friend Lauren, who has just donated a reading for someone. If you want to ask a question, if you're watching and you have a burning question, you would love a card, absolutely. Lauren, you're going to get one. I'll just finish up with the swords, shall I? Because we've only got 2 left. Now, you'll see that there's also 1 sword in the foreground. So there are about 7 swords behind her and 1 in the foreground, this one. So there must be, of all of these thoughts, right, probably most of them she can just forget about, all right? Let's not even go there with these thoughts. But there is one that's worth thinking, because there's one before you, there's one ahead of you. It might be that this one is coming, depending on how you're reading. Lauren Fox Creates on Instagram. Awesome. That's where you're going to find Lauren, and you'll see her beautiful artwork. And stay tuned, because she's going to launch her spirit cards, nature spirit cards, very soon. So yeah, there's one sword, one thought, one idea that really is worth holding on to. One idea worth milking. Now, what happens when we come to the 9s is we have an accumulation. You'll remember the 9 of Wands, and it was like, oh, hard work. This person was beat about the head, had scars, was looking very tired. Well, this is the same thing here. So when you have too much thinking, you can't sleep at night, right? And that's what this card will turn up and actually mean exactly that. The person will say, I've been dreaming a lot. I've got a lot of fears. I'm really worried. I'm being woken up at night. You'll just take a moment to have a look at her bedspread, which has all the astrological symptoms on it. Also roses, very beautiful red roses to indicate passion, right? Passionate thinking. And then you can see at the side of the bed, there are 2 people that look to be fighting one another, and one is sitting down, either pushed to the ground by the other one. The other one is kind of on top. They look like they're fencing. So what happens at night is we have strange kind of dreams, and all our subconscious, our unconscious just kind of burps up everything that's going on that we're not always consciously thinking of in our day-to-day life. But if you've really got something that's been on your mind, it's going to start burping up. It's going to start keeping you up. It's going to be in your dream. So this may also indicate that you need to do some dream work, dream journaling. This card is not usually a surprise. You usually know that you're feeling or thinking like this, right? And the piece de resistance, the final end of thinking. Finally, we are put to rest, okay? It does look like there's a death. There's a death that's happened that is the death of overthinking and the death of thoughts. So this is almost like the card where if you there's almost like this build up, from the 8 to the 9 to the 10. It's like, oh, my God, I'm getting a headache just looking at all these thoughts. Where would you rather be? I'll tell you where I'd rather be. I'd rather be here. I'd rather be meditating. Would you not? Because this is hardcore. I mean, some people have also seen this as acupuncture, these needles, but traditionally this card is the one of, an ending to all thought, a finally coming to the close of whatever ideas. And if you have a look at the mudra, the way the hand is shaped, this, and you'll remember the Hierophant had his hands like this, and this is the truth. So by this stage, the truth has been revealed, and whatever the outcome was, there is an ending. And you can see there is light on the horizon, so there's a lot of promise. And you can put the 10 to rest because you know that it's an ending, but also a new beginning. That's why the 10 reduces to the 1, and you've got a whole new cycle again. Yay, we did the swords. Swords 1 to 10. Woohoo, success. I'm now going to shuffle these cards and hopefully all the swords separate and you don't have to have any of them coming up for you, Lauren. Thank you so much. What would you like? Would you love a general reading? Just one card, several cards. Lauren has donated a reading for someone else. So please, if you are interested in having a reading, if If you have a question for us, because I like this card so much, it's popped out again. Are you meditating, Lauren, given that it's popped out? You must be meditating. I know you're meditating. How good are you feeling? Thank you. I'm just going to put down Lauren. I think you joined in last week too, Lauren, didn't you? I'm just capturing everyone's names. Lauren, plus one other. Here we go. If no one wants it, I'd take the reading. Sure, absolutely. Thank you, G. You were here right up. There we go. So I'll do Lauren, and then look at that. I got a red halo. It's almost exactly positioned right there. That's so funny. I do love it. Maybe I can sit to the side. There we go. Spirit is over my left shoulder, and it's the spirit of the eagle, the thunderbird that looks after the thunderstorms. So if you have a thunderstorm in your life at the moment, the totem energy will help you. We're here to ground that energy, right? So, Lauren, I'm going to choose, shall we choose a past, present, future? Shall we just do 3 cards where we're looking at just the general overview? Does that sound good? Past, present, future. Great cards. So, past, the sun. This is a great past. In general, you know, there have been really good times. Really, the sun. If I can just talk about how the sun is really popping out to me. So the spirit, you know, sun is the divine father, moon, divine mother energy. And this sun is like blazing light. So the divine father energy has been coming through very strong and has really helped, you know, liberate you and give you this sense of freedom. You know, I see the sunflowers that have been looking at the sun and getting energy from the sun, you know, this spiritual awakening. It's really beautiful. So I love this card as your past card because you've come into this vibration of you know, gaining. This is source energy of plugging into source energy and getting energy and deriving energy and joy and bliss from this, right? From this connection. So it's a success card. Now, in the present moment, what you have is out of a cloud comes a cup, an offering. Here we go. So an opportunity is here. I wouldn't even say coming your way. It might be coming your way if you're not aware of it. But right here, right now, there's an opportunity coming toward you, right? An opportunity, an offering. And so let's have a look. If you're not aware of it, just let me know if you're not aware of it. And what I'll do is I'll have a look at if you're aware of it, if you're aware of this opportunity, if you're not aware of it, so I chose a card for if you're aware of it. I think you're aware of it. This card would indicate that you would be aware of it because there's a lot of energy coming straight toward you with the Knight of Swords. I mean, he's coming at you. If you're not aware of it, you're going to be aware of it. The Queen of Cups is holding this massive cup, which has been given to you. So I think very soon it's going to become very clear. There's an opportunity for emotional contentment. It's being offered to you from spirit, right? And it's very different to what you've been offered before. So this offering, now let's have a look. Let's ask spirit, what is this offering, this emotional offering? What is it? An emotional offering. Wow. Face the devil. Face the devil and finish the game. Right? This is a bit heavy. We've gotten a bit heavy here for a general reading. Well, I think when the devil turns up, it can't be anything but a little bit heavy. So the energy of the devil, which you might remember, is one of, you know, where we allow our sort of our unconscious mind to take over and our programs to take over. So the opportunity is to not have that happen, right? The opportunity is to catch this, yes, up to source. So you have this, source has your back because you are source, right? And here is the opportunity to catch the devil at his game, so to speak, to catch that part of ourselves, our shadow, that wants to trip us up, that wants to, keep us in low vibrational energy. Why would the devil turn up? Why not? Right? Because we're ready, right? We've done our work. We know the teachings. We know what to do. We know how to handle this part of ourselves because we have practiced being in the energy of it so often, and we know what we don't want. And so when we know what we don't want, it's actually really powerful, because when it presents itself as that thing that we don't want, we know how to move our attention into a place of, right? So this is about alchemy, going from, the devil to, seeing through the devil, seeing through fear, seeing through frustration and not knowing, and whatever pattern has been there before, right? This is the opportunity, the emotional opportunity that's here now, right? To go from here to here. And if you do that, look what happens. Absolute cacophony of heart explosions and openings. And I would even say that this energy, right, this one that's in your very near future, right? How soon is this? How soon are we getting this Ace of Cups? This, like, how soon are we getting this confirmation, this validation, this success card? Okay, because we've gone from here to here, right? And we've gone from here and here. Are you laughing, Lauren? We've gone from here and here, right? Where this offering to fight the devil and finish the game, to here, to winning, right? Here, you've won. Why? Why have you won? Because you understand that the only thing that's important is love. The only thing that's important is your connection to love. The only thing that's important is your stream. Look at the Nadi channels. These are the Nadi channels, right? There's the Shushumna. These are the your connection to source is the most important thing in the whole world at every single moment. And your connection here is just ablaze with light. And that's what's happening. And that's your outcome of facing the devil and finishing the game. Absolute connection to source and love. And outcome has to be success. This is the success card. Indeedy. Right? And then you can walk away from being like this. You never, ever, ever do that again. And this is a whole new path. This is also a movement card. This is a moving away card, right? Now, it could be a moving away places card, but it's definitely a moving away on an emotional level card. We're going to talk about the cups next week. And the cups, much like, remember, this is an 8 of cups. So we know that there's a very karmic element to the number 8 here, right? Not aware. Oh, no. What did I say? Not aware, not away. I don't know what that means, Lauren. Just explain it to me. I've gone off on another tangent. So this card, right? This card goes with this card. Your capacity to connect and relate is something like you have never experienced before. You will be moving away from all of that old way of emoting and being, and you'll be going on this new journey, right? And you see where there were obstacles before and lots of rocks. I don't see that. Look at that. These massive obstacles are in the past. And these tiny little rocks that the land that you're moving on now, these tiny little things, they're like pebbles compared to these big monsters, right? And this is the eclipsed moon, right? It's an auspicious time. The sun and the moon together, the energy of the sun and moon, that's a balance of the masculine and feminine. Not aware. Okay. Yes, she says. I love you. You're a woman of few words. These These cups are beautifully lined up, beautifully balanced. And so you know that the journey continues in a whole new way. Congratulations. Let's pull one more. Why not? Because we have the time. Because we can. Oh, wonderful. And, this is the promise of the creative juices flowing through you, right? Remember, these are the three cards. We're moving into the future. We're still in the potential, the unlimited potential. Look at what you're creating for yourself. Isn't this wonderful? Moving away from an old kind of emoting. Gone. The old is gone. This whole new, dousing yourself in this spiritual batter, right? Like cookie batter. Good stuff. And the Empress, who is giving birth to that which is new, never seen before. Just connecting and facilitating creation. This is creation. This is the feminine in her creative capacity, right? So much clarity, so much beauty, so much beauty. Look at her. Connected to the stars, connected to the earth, connected through her passion, connected through her root chakra and her sacral chakra. I mean, the sacral chakra, which is the sex chakra, the second one up, the one that's just below the navel, a lot of us have a lot of difficulty around there because relating to others and, where there's been history of trauma and ongoing trauma and struggles and power struggles and money struggles and sex struggles, this power, sex, and money issues live for us in this second chakra in the orange. But here she's sitting, she's very relaxed. She has no problems with any of her chakras. She is open and ready to birth. What would you like? What would you like me to create? I'll just think and create. With she's holding hands with the Emperor who organizes it all. So she's receiving information from the High Priestess and the Magician, giving birth to everything, and then the Emperor organizes it all, puts everything into order, structure, creates foundation for buildings, creates foundation for society, and she is simply involved in creating. She's all about beauty. So this is a wonderful energy to be moving into. Superb, Lauren. Well done. So nice. I love that our money's going to Creacon Wellness Retreat. The website is in the description. It's also here for you, creaconwellnessretreat.com. It'll be in the Friends of Creacon program. You will receive I will be posting about it on Instagram and Facebook and making sure that you know when I donate that money. So that's when your contribution goes in, when the exchange happens. So G, this is for you. You're getting the reading. Woohoo! Here we go. We've got Great Thunderbird. Let's see if we have any more information on the Thunderbird energy. Anybody else find any information on the Thunderbird totem? Thunderbird totem, Native American energy. I'm just looking it up now because I can. Thunderbird symbolism. The Thunderbird is usually on top of the Native American totem pole. Might be a pterodactyl from the dinosaur era. In Native American legend, the Thunderbird is a symbol for creation and power of fearsome storms. These storms can be tornadoes, hurricanes, rain, thunder, lightning, blizzards, and other weather phenomena associated with the wind, the air, and the sky. And the Thunderbird has the capacity to wield the creation or direction, intensity, and length of a storm. There's electromagnetic energy. It's a culmination of all of those powers, and the power of lightning. Wonderful. Right, and we did talk about that, the force of nature and the essence of storm creation. Right, how do we keep ourselves from creating storms? How do we ground that energy? Isn't that interesting? Because we're talking about the swords tonight, and it does make sense that storms can be created in our mind, right? Tornadoes of thoughts. And if you think about the Five of Swords and the arguments that happen, and the way that the wind was, creating confusion, those clouds are very jagged, people's thoughts, you can very easily get yourself into, a whirlwind of thought when you start to think on a thought and just milk it, right? Particularly if it's in a negative spin, right? It's very easy to do. We've all done it. Why did they do that? I think the question why is the one that does that for us most. So, G, let's get you a card, a reading. Here we go. Let's connect in with you. Oh, let's just get the... I think it's still focused. Oh, it's just out of focus at the moment. Don't worry about it. This is me in soft focus. Okay, G, I'm going to take a moment to rest and connect to your energy. There we go. Oh, you can see clearly. Oh, yeah, the card is clear, and it wasn't focused. The camera's meant to be able to focus. Oh, there it is. Focus on me and focus on the card at the same time. And sometimes it gets stuck. So I pulled the Hermit card for you, G, which is really beautiful card. I don't remember the cards we got for you last week, but this card also indicates something really beautiful, which is your connection to spirit. Just remember that you are the... you are the vortex. You are the one that creates everything. You are the one that destroys everything. You are it. And this is the card that tells you so, because the Hermit has done his spiritual homework. He's climbed the mountain. He's done everything that he's needed to do to attain this spiritual wisdom. He's read the books. He's put the knowledge into practice, and he's gained that wisdom. He's right at the top of the mountain. He's got his golden stick, his golden wand, and it's a light stick, right? It's yellow. And in his lantern, leading the way, is the Star of David, the six-pointed star, the upright triangle and the downward triangle, earth and sky, air and fire, I think. Holy Trinity and the Earth Trinity. So you get it back again. There it is. It's like a star that's been taken out of the sky and put inside the lantern. He got up high enough to grab the star, and then it will light the way. So you know that as he moves down the mountain, as you move down the mountain, right, and all the spiritual knowledge you've got to do. Georgia, I'm sorry I was driving. Oh, I love you, Lauren. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for participating and sending in money to Friends of Creacon. So here is the rub, G. As you move down the mountain, you are going to be lighting the path not only for yourself but for others. So let's choose a card to add. Oh, look at that. Someone's coming in. There's an offering. Either you'll be offering this cup to people, or others will come to you to get an offering. You'll be filling other people's cups. So I don't know, G, if you what work you do, but certainly this is something. This can't be a surprise to you that people are attracted to you and hope to gain something from you, right? But this is happening. This is how you are going to be sharing your light, your wisdom with others. It's probably already happening. So this is not a future projection. This is a now statement. It's happening in the now. And because you know how to connect to this river. This is the river of the source. We're just the hoses, right, through which the water flows. And if we can get out of the way, like the hermit has, and it's not me, it's source, not tomato sauce or ketchup sauce. It's true source, a universal energy flowing through us. Then we have everything to offer, and we never get tired. And there's nobody here, right? But source giving to source. That's what that is. I hope you can relate to that, G. One more card. I'm going to choose one card each for your occupation, finances, and career. All right. Occupation, finances, and career. That kind of doesn't make sense. But what about occupation, finances, and relationship? So of all of these, occupation, finances, occupation and career, right, got these two cards, which are swords. So I would have to say that you're thinking about changing. You're kind of in two minds about your career, which as an overall card, I'd be like, yeah, you are, because the universe is kind of pulling you in one direction in being in service. And where you are with the job, your current job or your current work is you're like, you're not sure if you like it. You're definitely in a decision mode. How do we know? Because we talked about the swords tonight. And you are, well, I don't really want to change, but maybe I do need to change. Or, there's some kind of energy at work that I'm really wanting to avoid or get out of, right? There's some energy here around the career and when we chose career and occupation. So we could, in a longer reading, we would go into detail around that if you wanted some clarity, but that's just the overall card. With finances, you're doing good job, right? Strong, steady guy. You always want to see the Knight of Pentacles. He's the guy who's strong, steady, grounded, available, dependable, right? It's going to do the job, is alive and well and kicking and, present. If you call him, he will come. In terms of finances, this is a great card. And relationship, right? So everything's doing really well for you, right? I would only say the omnipotent source. Thank you. Yes, the omnipotent source. So around work, there's going to be some change, right? And this is the card. So the more you sit in your abundance and the more that you sit in doing the things that you love to do, then any movement of change that you're going through happens with ease. This is what this card basically says, because I picked that to kind of clarify these two, right, which are like, now happening. Well, just stay in the abundance of it all. Right? Don't focus on any of the negatives. Keep focusing on the abundance, right? I have what I need. My needs are being met. Things are always working out for me. I love that one. Love it. Such a great mantra. Everything is always working out for me. All is well. All is well. Right? I don't need to worry. Remember those sword cards at the end? After the 7, they just get worse. Right after the 7, it just becomes the 8 of swords and then the 9 of swords and the 10 of swords. Oh, my Lord, just too many swords. Lauren picked some cards for me. Yay! I'll just finish up with G here. And what we've got is the 9 of coins, pentacles, and here she is to tell us that all is well. All is well in my world. I am in abundance. I am abundant. I'm abundant in love. I'm abundant in wealth. I'm abundant in joy. I'm abundant in emotional well-being, right? I am well. I am happy, healthy, and whole, right? Fantastic cards. Well done, G. Fantastic. I feel great after your reading. So Lauren has pulled some cards for me. Woohoo! Thank you. Now the 2 of coins. Let me show you what the 2 of coins looks like. I don't know what deck you're using, Lauren. Are you using the regular Rider-Waite? This is the... Here he is dancing a jig. I want to know what you interpret the two. Says G, I am that I am. Right? May that be tattooed in our brains so that we always come back to a place of stillness in that. The fountain deck. I don't know the fountain deck. What does it look like? See, when you use different decks, right, you have a different, I have to rely, and I will rely, on your interpretation of the deck. Now, I'm going to see if I can find the fountain deck, 2 of coins. The fountain deck, 2 of coins. I've lost Google. Oh, my Lord. I don't know what's happened up here. Where are we? We're on Chrome. Something happened to my desktop. Here we go. The Fountain Tarot. The 2 of coins in the Fountain Tarot. Okay, now, it looks... Okay, so, Lauren, does it look like a tattooed arm coming up out of the water, holding 2 coins at the tips of their fingers that's in the infinity symbol sign? Is that what it looks like? I wish I could show you. I might be able to show you if I find my phone. Here we go. All right. I am now going to take a photo from my computer and then hold it up to you. Is this what the 2 of coins looks like? This is fun. Never done this before. All right. Okay. This is what I saw. Is this it, Lauren? So this is the 2 of coins that I think Lauren is reading for me. This hand coming up. You just sent me a text with a pic. The fountain deck. All right, let's have a look. That's the one. Okay, so, Lauren, we've got it. We've got the deck, guys. That's the deck, the one that I showed you with the 2. So tell me, what do you think? What does the 2 of coins? So this is when you start to use a different deck. You and because we've learned the Rider-Waite-Smith deck together, so we know what the Rider-Waite-Smith says about the 2 of coins. But when you have a brand new image in front of you, like that one, right, which is very intense and unique on its own, it could very well be, I mean, it has the energy of the Ace of Coins, right? So when you have that, right, when you have that, I mean, it's a beautiful deck. So this is the card, this hand, tattooed arm coming up out, and these 2 coins, 2 pentacles, all about balance. But I want to know what you think, Lauren. So the 2 of coins, strength, and the 6 of cups. So the strength card looks like this because Lauren has sent it to me. She sent it to me, and I'm going to show it to all of you because this is my reading from Lauren. Right, here we go. Now Lauren reads. Oh, the strength card is gorgeous. Wow. Gosh, there are so many wonderful interpretations of the Rider-Waite-Smith. I just love it. I find that it's helpful to learn the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. This is for me, right? Which is why I teach it. I teach people to read the Rider-Waite-Smith because I think it's helpful to understand the original, there it is. It's just come into focus. Look at this gorgeous lion. Here's a woman who looks like she's riding this on top of this lion that is somewhat tattooed, looks a little tribal, and is not unafraid. Determination. Yes. I'm definitely determined. That's me for sure. That 2 of Pentacles, right? So we have that, and then the 6 of Cups. Oh, how gorgeous. And impending choice. Yeah, well, that's true. Oh, so the 2 of coins being choice, right? And the 6 of cups. Yeah, card one. Card one was hang on. Oh, the other way. This is my reading now. Lauren is reading from her deck at home. She picked the 2 of coins for me, impending choice. The strength card, which is gorgeous. It's a wonderful lion. Right? Determination, which I can relate to. So true. And what do you think of the 6 of cups? I mean, traditionally, the 6 of cups in the Rider-Waite Smith has 2 what look like children. One looks like a dwarf, the other one looks like a child, but they're handing things to each other. And look at this. There's the same thing happening here where these 2 figures are handing a candle. You know, they're sort of holding a candle between one another or sharing a candle. I might get out of the way, see if I can get some focus. There it is. See this? They're sharing something. It doesn't actually, it's not a candle. They're just cups. They're cups, and there's something inside the cup. So there's a gift being shared. It's beautiful. Okay, Lauren, tell me, what do you think? What does that mean? Right? Oh, I'm waiting for my reading from Lauren. Thank you for my reading. Card 6 of Cups. It's beautiful. I'll take it. Happiness, giving, receiving, abundance, right? 6 of Cups. Card 2, power, honoring all aspects of courage, harnessing energy, you. Yes, I can relate to it. I can relate to it, definitely. Having to go in and work with the shadow, right? Work with that part of our wild selves that is untamed and coming into some form of inner submission, submitting to a higher power. Love it. Animals trust people who are connected to source, right? All these enlightened beings in the history of enlightened beings have always been very calming to animals, around animals. Animals will come up to them. Wild animals will come up to them and be with them, and not other people. Simple pleasures, family, innocent love. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's what we're enjoying. We're enjoying that at the moment in our lives. Thank you. Wonderful. See? Look at that, beautiful. So this is the Fountain Tarot, and you can go to fountaintarot.com and find the deck and buy it if you like. There you go. So I'm just looking. A new beginning and promising future, being the 6 of Cups. Yeah. And the 6 of Cups, as we know, 6 is always a success number, right? A promising future. Thank you. Wonderful. I love it. And given that we have some extra time, shall we choose some other cards? Why not? We have, Georgia, you know me well enough to know I need color. Yes. Well, there's a lot of color in the Empress card, right? She's glowing and full of color. And yeah, these cards are really beautiful, very colorful. Yes, I do know. And your artwork is very colorful. So I have something here called the, well, let's do this. Let's have a look. I did say that I would do this. I have the after tarot and the before tarot. Would this be fun for a minute? And we can close out with this. So I have the after tarot, right? And the before tarot. Look at this. before tarot and after tarot. And in between that is the now tarot. This is the now tarot. So if we look at the swords cards, I'm going to pull them all out again. We can maybe just do a few. And we can say, oh, so this artist's interpretation in the before tarot, right, has said that just before this stage, when this person's having a nightmare, this is what happened. And then the artist in the after tarot has said, this is what happens a moment after the Nine of Swords. And it's kind of fun. And because we have the time, let's do it. We're doing the after tarot, the before tarot. We've got the swords. Have we got all of them out? Let's have a look. We'll just have a look at a few. And I have to find them all, so this is a little bit boring if you're just watching. So the before tarot, the after tarot is a low scarabeo deck. This is a publisher who started to commission artists, an Italian company that started to commission just illustrators to create all these decks. And there are so many. Oh, my Lord, there are so many. And you can see the style is very, it's very, they're very beautiful. So we have, now let me see if I can find one. The Ace of Cups, no. Let's do the Three of Swords. Let's find the Three of Swords. There's the Nine of Swords. Oh, that one's great. And the Three of Swords. Because I haven't used these cards, now I've just pulled open the After Tarot, right? And I'm looking, this is the After Tarot, and I'm looking for the Three of Swords. So we're going to do the Three of Swords, right? And I found, oh, no, actually we're going to do the Nine of Swords because I just found that. Nine of Swords. That's the After Tarot. And then, so we don't get too confused, we're now looking at the Before Tarot. I'm out of focus. Doesn't matter. There. Okay. Back in focus. So we have I think they're done by the same people. I think these are also low scarabeo. So this is a moment after. Really doesn't matter. Could be before or after. You would never be able to tell if you were to mix these cards up. What happened before, what happened after. Here we go. Oh, my goodness. It's a little stark. Wouldn't want to get this card. So in the before tarot, so you have this is the regular tarot, the Nine of Swords. So before this card, the artist in the before tarot has said, this person is asleep, right? And imagining, wow, there's blood dripping from these swords, meaning that these swords are cutting, creating wounds. And there's a woundedness. And this person really does look to be asleep, but stiff, even stiffened. They might look like they might be arching their back. The muscles in their neck appear a little bit tight. Can you see that? Can you see that imagery? Look at their muscles. So there's an extension happening, like they're going, oh, right? So there's like a terrible dream that's actually happening. And then they wake up, right? So that makes sense. That's a progression. This is before a horrible dream, some kind of death happening, some kind of wounding. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, what a horrible dream. I'm not going back to sleep to remember that. And then all of the stars and all of the wisdom of the stars and all of the, all of the beauty, this wonderful blanket that's giving us some peace and solace, we remember. And then after tarot, this is the after tarot. Before tarot, now tarot, the regular tarot, and the after tarot. Look at this. So in the after tarot, the artist has imagined, well, I'm going to slay, right? The cards are very clear. Oh, good, good. I'm going to slay this dragon. I'm going to slay these thoughts. Isn't this a wonderful card? So you don't have to feel wounded or victimized by your thoughts. You can just get on top of them. How do we get on top of them? We just say, no, I'm not going to think about you. I'm not going to, I'm not going to allow this thought to create nightmares in my mind. I'm going to slay this thought. I'm going to slay the dragon of thoughts. Fantastic, right? Great imagery. Let's choose one more. That was so fun. So this is before, belongs in that deck. And this is after, before tarot. Let's see if we can find the Three of Swords. Since we were doing swords, I'll just choose whichever sword. I remember the Seven of Swords. Remember that funny guy who's leaving? That strange guy that's... Here we go. We got the card of infidelity, the card of deception, right? Now this is the after tarot, and now I've got to find the before so we can make some sense of it. So let's have a look at the before. Before, and we're looking for the Seven of Swords. Almost there. There are 78 cards and I'm not picking it up yet. Here he is. All right. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? So this plays a little bit on what we already spoke about. So this is the before tarot. Does it? This should be the before tarot. Now I'm getting confused. This is the before tarot. This is the after tarot. Right. Got it. So the before tarot says, here is this guy going behind the tents, right? Because here is the now tarot. There are the tents. He's moved away from the tents. This guy is now clearly, this is the before tarot, and he's gone over to where these swords are being kept, and he's starting to take them, right? He's bent over, and we can see the people, still kind of having their campfire. Everybody's away from the tents. They're nowhere near the swords and where he is. So he does look like he's stealing them away. And there he is doing what we know for him to be doing, stealing away. And in the after tarot, because he's looking, because he's not looking where he's going, can you see that he's about to walk into a trap? So, and what do we see? We see the smoke signals coming up and kind of creating smoke signals. So we know that the truth will soon be discovered. There's these two that are in the background. We know the truth. The evidence is there to be telling the truth. And very soon, he's kind of losing his control over the handles of these swords. And very soon, he'll walk into this trap. He'll trap himself. And isn't that the truth? There's this kind of energy, this trickster energy or this negative energy always turns in on itself. And it always extinguishes itself with itself. It ends up meeting itself, doesn't it? And then it's the end of itself when it meets itself. He will meet his own. This is the sort of the understanding of karma, or the consequences of his actions will come to him at some point. So you can't do an action like this without there being a cause and effect. Wonderful. So that's interesting. These are very sort of thoughtful, conceptual, doing the before and after. I wonder how you could use them. You could you can use them individually, obviously, if you have the before tarot deck or the after tarot deck. This is the after. You would use all of the before together, and you knowing the traditional Rider-Waite and the now, you could say, well, this is interesting. So you have an opportunity now to see what's happening. We know what's about to happen if you continue with the energy of this card. And here you have an outcome card, right? Past, present, future. Wonderful. So you could use I don't think I could use them together, though. That would be a bit confusing to me. You could just use them individually, right? Use the before tarot and then do your layout, and then you would read them as any other cards. You could use these decks for a full reading, absolutely. You definitely could. You'd good, because you'd get a lot of information out of them, right? But isn't it interesting how even with this card, we already touched on the before and after, right? Because we were talking about, well, what would bring this person to this point and what's coming afterward, right? We already, it's almost like the before tarot deck was created to make it obvious, right? And the after tarot was created with the obvious next, moment. So if you just use this card, you do get both, right? You get all of it. There's enough in these cards. You don't need them, but they've been created, so we enjoy them. Right? We don't need them, but we enjoy them. And I have them now, so I'm committed to talking about them. Here they are, before, after. I can't mix them all up. They're all different sizes anyway, so these are quite thin, tall and thin. These are much thicker. Yeah. So you know how to read tarot because you're tapping into your intuition. It's interesting to see the story, absolutely. Yeah, says Lauren, and that's very, very true. It's interesting to see the way that the artist has created the story, and maybe your story would be different based on at what point in time you're reading the story, who you're reading, what's going on for them, right? And what's outcome or unlimited potential you're pulling down to create, right? So maybe this person steps, carrying the swords, cuts their hands, and that's their karmic, destiny. How do we know? If you use different cards, you get a different feeling, a different sense from the imagery. But you're always connecting. So we've come to time. Thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, G. Thank you, Lauren, for donating to Friends of Creacon. And we will make those donations, and I will make sure that everybody's name goes down and that the energy exchange happens. Thank you so much. Next week, we will do the cups 1 to 10. Very exciting. We're moving through the minor arcana very quickly, very swiftly. And before you know it, we will be doing the suit and the court cards, and we'll be finishing on May 29th. So on May 29th, we would have completed all of the cards in the tarot. And on May 29th, I'm planning a party, a tarot party. And I might invite everyone. Yes, thank you so much, G. Thank you. I might invite everyone on a Zoom call, and we could go live on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe we could go live on YouTube together, do readings for one another. Would that be fun? Might put it out to people to see if that's what they want to do. Love to you and Creacon. Oh, yes. Amen. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for coming. Thank you for donating. Thank you for sending in your money. Thank you for your precious time. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.